Hello and welcome to yet another YouTube video of mine. This time something a little bit different. My 2005 Volkswagen T5 campervan. Now I've owned this about 9 months now, and I've just realised I've not made a YouTube video of it yet, mainly because I've just been enjoying it too much. So let's have a look, shall we? It's a 2005 2.5 5-cylinder TDI. It was converted from new to a camper van, so it's not been like a builder's hack or even worse, an electrician's hack. Yeah, no, it's from new. It's been a Reimo converted van, which I believe is quite a well-respected converter. It's got a elevating pop-top roof, bike rack for all my cycling that I do, and it's just clocked over 97,000 miles, which for an 18-year-old van isn't too bad. And it drives really well. Interior, quite well spec'd really. It's got air conditioning, which works really well, which I've found out is rather rare. Also, what's quite rare, working cup holders. Apparently these are known to be very fragile and break quite easily, but mine seem to be okay. I've probably completely jinxed it now. It's also got electric windows, electric heated mirrors, so it's a fairly decent spec. Let's say we've done 97,000 miles. I've just come back from a 2,000 plus mile trip to the Highlands of Scotland. Myself and my wife did the NC 500. We stopped off at the Lake District on the way up there, and on the way back we stopped off at the North Yorkshire Moors, plus the 500 miles around Scotland. Very enjoyable trip. As I say, from door to door, it was 2,020 miles actually, and it never missed a beat. Really well. You know, coped really well. Very capable little van. Very pleased. So let's have a look in the back, shall we? Right, what have we got? Well, first of all, we've got the 2-burner hob here, which is good for knocking up a meal or two. Found that very useful on our trip. And under here we've got the sink, which is good for brushing your teeth and washing up, etc. Lots of cupboards, fridge, which has been good. Again, like I say, lots of cupboards, bit of overhead storage for the all-important tea and coffee, and bits and pieces. Little telly stashed away up there, more cupboards and drawers, etc. down here. So yeah, loads of little cubby holes for storage. It's all a bit of a tight squeeze, obviously, especially when you're going away for a fortnight, which we did. But you manage, you cope, and you have to learn to be quite economical with what you pack. 230 volt socket up there, and a little 12 volt cigarette lighter socket. A controller there for the diesel heater. We had a Autoterm diesel heater fitted, I think 2 kilowatt, which is fantastic. Best thing I've ever done to the van, because it had no diesel heater fitted, so it just means now that you can park up off grid and you're nice and toasty and warm, and this really does warm up the van a treat. Very, very well recommended bit of kit. Not cheap, but well worth it. Other modifications I've done, don't know if you can see, I did the Pioneer in-dash navigation phone doobry what's it unit. That's a technical term, that is. And very, very pleased with that. Upgraded the door speakers and the dash speakers to some component JBL units, because the existing ones were god awful, and when I took them out the door cards I could see why. All the foam had gone, there was nothing left of them whatsoever. So that's a nice little upgrade, gives a little bit of bass. I was going to go for an under-seat subwoofer, but under this seat is the leisure battery, and this seat is a swivel seat with a safe under it, so there's no room for an under-seat sub. I'm trying to decide if I want one and where else to put one, which won't lose me any storage. This is the rock and roll bed. This folds out into a double, well, a 3/4 width double bed, which is nice and cozy for myself and the wife. And up here is the elevating roof, the pop top, which pops up, the bed pops up and gives you a lot of head height as well, and also a couple of kids can sleep up there. My two have slept up there, and yeah, it's quite cozy for 4 people, but it's doable. And we've got an awning that goes on the side as well, and a driveway awning that clips into this awning rail here, so you can drive off, leave your awning in place, and when you pull up back at site, the awning slides into this rail, and it gives a nice weatherproof, well, supposedly weatherproof and windproof seal. We had the awning up in November in Snowdonia, and it started blowing an absolute hoolie, and we thought we'd wake up in the morning and see the awning destroyed, but no, it survived perfectly. So it's quite a robust thing, and that gives you a bit more room for sleeping if you're if you're staying somewhere more than one night. Let's have a quick look in the back. There you go, this is the back in all its glory. Water tank there, sort of under seat storage area, and we just plonk all our duvet etc in here. What's in there? Oh, I've got my leads and so on in there. All storage in there. You're not really short of storage in these things. It's just a case of getting to it all, really, because sometimes, like for instance here, this cupboard is obstructed by the seat, so you have to pull the seat forward to get into that cupboard. It's just a case of knowing what's what, really. I think some of the newer campers have roller shutters on these cupboards, which is obviously a lot more practical, because you can just roll the shutter open, which is nice. But yeah, got the curtains. The upholstery makes me smile. I like to call it PlayStation upholstery, because it reminds me of a PlayStation controller for obvious reasons. And it's a 2005 van, and it is of its era, but I like it. It's cool. Control there for all the debris, the taps and the fridge and sockets, and to switch it over from 12 volt to electric hookup. So yeah, speakers in the back tailgate. This is the tailgate model, which is nicer than the 2 doors, because you can lie in bed with the tailgate open. I suppose you can do that with 2 doors as well. And you've got a nice little shelter over you as well, where you're taking the view and have a cup of tea. So yeah, this van was supplied by Bilbo's in South Godstone, which is quite amusing because I used to live just around the corner from there years ago, and I remember their various VWs, etc. Mainly the older, I remember the old bay windows they used to do. Quite a well-known camper place. So yeah, there you go. This is my van. His name is Christopher, after a rather camp friend of mine called Chris. So this is Christopher the camper, and he was very, very chuffed when we found out that we named it after him. This seat here, this single seat swivels, so you can swivel it around. There's a little table there which you can put up here, so you can have this seat and a table. You can actually walk through from the cab into the back if you breathe in, if you're a bit of a fat git like me, but that's quite useful. The double seats up front, I suppose, can be nice, but they are a real pain to swivel around, whereas this one is quite easy. It's a little 30-second job. A friend of mine's got one with a double seat, and they tried swiveling it around the other day, and after about an hour they gave up because it was just impossible. So yeah, I think I'd forego the extra very, very small seat for the fact that you can walk through without having to get out, and it's a lot more convenient and easy. So yeah, here you go. This is my van, and it's not a classic car, but it's something that gives me a great deal of enjoyment. We've been on many trips in this. I say Scotland, North Wales, Lake District, Peak District, down to Dorset, New Forest. Haven't been to Cornwall as yet, so that's on the list. And we hope to go to Germany later this year. So that will be a nice little adventure. And yeah, it's a lovely old thing. So hope you enjoyed this video. And if I've cocked up on any information, which is not surprising, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, okay. Like and share and buy my merch, as they say. Goodbye.